Hey guys, it's Miss Udo, and we have made it to our last math lesson of the week. And today's lesson is a guided performance task. That means that today we're going to take everything that we've talked about this week and put it together in order to solve a larger problem. You're going to want to make sure that you pay very close attention during today's guided performance task, because after our guided task, you are going to have an independent task to work on at the end of the lesson. All right, everyone, let's begin. As always, before we get started, make sure that you have your math journal and a pencil. Make sure you have that Google Classroom tab open. Make sure that you have an open mind and a positive attitude. Our math norms are the same as always. Errors are gifts that promote discussion. Ask questions until the ideas make sense. Talk about each other's thinking. The answers are important, but they are not the math, and I definitely want to stress that one today. When we're working on a performance task, there's going to be a lot of different things to think about, and the things that you think through are so much more important than getting the final answer. And then use multiple strategies and multiple representations, which we've talked a lot about this week. Let's begin with our warm-up. This is the reminder that warm-ups can either be done mentally or you can write them out on your notebook paper before answering them in your Nearpod. Question number 1. Miss Jordan wants to go to a virtual Beyonce concert. The cost that's a typo. The cost is $12 per ticket. Which equation represents the total cost if Miss Jordan is only buying a ticket for herself? I'm going to read it one more time. Miss Jordan wants to go to a virtual Beyonce concert. The cost is $12 per ticket. Which equation represents the total cost if Miss Jordan is only buying a ticket for herself? Is it A, 12 times 1 equals 12, B, 12 times 0 equals 12, C, 12 times 1 equals 1, or D, 12 times 0 equals 0? Please answer on the Nearpod at this time. All right, guys, let's check those answers. Well, this question goes back to one of those identity properties. Miss Jordan wants to go to this concert. The cost of the ticket is $12. Miss Jordan is only going to the concert or only buying a ticket for herself. If Miss Jordan is buying a ticket for herself, that means that Miss Jordan only needs to buy one ticket. If Miss Jordan is buying one ticket, that means that our equation is the cost of the ticket times the number of tickets that she is buying. Miss Jordan is buying one ticket, so we can eliminate answer choices B and D, because they represent the number 0 as the number of tickets that Miss Jordan is buying. So let's take a look at A and C. Miss Jordan is buying one ticket and the ticket costs $12. The identity property of 1 tells us that any number that we multiply times 1 is itself. So 12 times 1 equals 12. The correct answer for our warm-up is A. Let's take a look at question number 2. James says that when you count by 4s, there is a pattern. What pattern has James noticed? The sentence frame that you can use to answer is the pattern that James sees is. I'm going to read the question one more time. James says that when you count by 4s, there is a pattern. What pattern has James noticed? Remember, you can use your multiplication chart to help you. Here are our fours. Write your answer to what pattern James sees or what pattern you see in your Nearpod at this time. All right. And so let's talk about what the correct answer is. Now, the one thing that I love about this question is that there's several things that you could have said. One of the things that you may have noticed about the four tables is something that we've been talking about all week, and that is that all of the fours are even. So you could have said that the pattern that James sees is that all of the digits are even. That would have been correct. If you wanted to be more specific about a pattern, on yesterday we talked about the numbers that were reoccurring. In this particular set, we have 4, 8, 2, 6, 0, and then after the number 20, it repeats with 4, 8, 2, 6, and 0. And so we have repeating digits. All right, guys, let's hop into the lesson. Our objective for today is that I can explain and represent properties of multiplication, and I can also be precise with my work. And so, as I said, today is a guided performance task. That means the first time we're going to go through a task together, I'm going to ask you a lot of questions that you are going to respond to on your Nearpod. And this is to get you thinking about how to solve problems that look like this on your own. So make sure that you are reading along and that you are answering all of the questions. There's going to be less to write down on the beginning of these slides, but as we get towards the end, I'm going to ask you to take some notes because you will use those notes to do your independent task later. Here's our problem. It is called Dinosaur Museum. There is a dinosaur exhibit at the local museum. You want to go see it with your family. The museum has 3 different plans to pay for to go to see the dinosaurs. And here are the plans. Plan A, you can pay $7 per person to visit the museum one time. Plan B, you can get a monthly membership for $12 for each person, but you can go as many times as you want during the month. For Plan C, it's a family membership and you pay $40 for a month. And everyone in your family can go as many times as they want during the month. Well, here's our question today. You, your sister, and your brother want to go to the museum 2 times this month. Which plan should you buy? And we are going to be able to show our thinking and explain our reasoning. Let's get to it. I'm going to leave this question on the screen for a couple of minutes for you to read through again yourself. And the question that is going to appear in your Nearpod in just a second is, what is this problem asking you to find? What is this problem asking you to find? Is it A, the type of dinosaurs at the museum? Is it B, the amount of money the museum makes each month? Is it C, the best plan to buy to go to the museum? Or is it D, the cost of a museum ticket? What is this problem asking you to find? Answer the question on your Nearpod. All right, well, let's talk about it. At the very bottom of our screen is our problem. This is what we are trying to solve. I'm going to read it for you one more time. It says, you, your sisters, and your brother want to go to the museum 2 times this month. Which plan should you buy? And so, what is the correct answer here, guys? This problem is asking us to find the best plan to buy to go to the museum. The correct answer here was C. So let's dive in, guys, remembering that we want to find the best plan to go to the museum. So again, we're thinking through our question right now, guys. Which piece of information is not important to solving this problem? Which piece of information is not important to solving this problem? Is it A, the cost of each plan? Is it B, the number of people going to the museum? Is it C, the number of times that you will go to the museum? Or is it D, all of this information is important to solving this problem? Again, take a couple seconds to look at the problem and think about it before it pops in the Nearpod. Which piece of information is not important to solving this problem? Is it A, the cost of each plan? Is it B, the number of people going to the museum? Is it C, the number of times you will go to the museum? Or is it D, all of this information is important to solving this problem? Answer your Nearpod, please. So I'm going to redirect you guys back to the question again. But this time I also want to direct you guys to the plans themselves. One of the things that I hope that you notice is that each plan has a different cost. One of the other things that I want you to notice is that each plan also has a different rate or different number of people that is impacted. Plan A is per person, that means each person. Plan B is also for each person, but Plan C is for the whole family. The next thing I want you to notice is that for Plan B, you go to the museum one time for this price. Plan B, you go as many times as you want. And Plan C, you also can go as many times as you want. And so all of those things are important to solving this problem. The cost of the plan, the number of people going, and the number of times you go. So the correct answer is that all of these things are going to be important to solving this problem. Let's keep it moving. Now it's time to develop a plan of action, guys. What should we do to determine which plan is best? What should we do to determine which plan is best? Are we just going to pick any plan? Are we going to pick the plan with the least amount of words? Are we going to use multiplication properties to find the cost of each plan? Or are we going to pick the plan with the most words? How are we going to solve this problem? What is it that we're going to do? Answer in your Nearpod, please. All right, guys, so this was kind of a trick question, but really it wasn't. We know that just picking a plan is out of the question because we're trying to get the best deal. We want to get the best deal, so we're not just going to pick a plan. When you look at question B and D, I threw those in there because that is something that we have a very nasty habit of doing, guys. We have a nasty habit of saying, this one's the easiest to read. I'm just going to pick it. We can't do that, guys. That doesn't involve math. Or this one's got a whole bunch of words, so maybe it's the answer. Nope, not going to do that either, guys. We have to use a strategy. And the strategy that we're going to use is our multiplication properties because that's what we've been talking about all week, guys. We are going to use multiplication properties to find the cost of each plan. And then we're going to pick an answer. So now it's time to do that, guys. Pull out your pencils. I'm about to start writing. I need you to write too. So we are going to start, guys, by talking about plan A. Because in order for us to figure out which plan is the best, we have to know how much each plan is actually going to cost us. In order to figure out which plan is the best, we have to know how much each plan is going to cost us. So I have plan A here for you. The cost of plan A, and you can see at the very bottom, there's a box that says important information. This is part of the information that you're going to want to write down, guys. First, we need to know what the cost of plan A is. How much does plan A cost? Plan A costs $7 per person. So plan A costs $7. Let me use black so I can read what I'm writing here. Plan A costs $7 per person. All right, it says the number of people going to the museum. And so we need to refer back to the end of our problem. Who's going to the museum? You. Let's get a highlighter. You, your sister, and your brother. If you, your sister, and your brother are going to the museum, how many people are going to the museum? Did you say 3? If you said 3, you're absolutely correct. You got your brother is 1, your sister is 1, and you have to include yourself. So there are 3 people going to the museum. And then the last important piece of information is the number of times that you're going to go to the museum. How many times are we going to the museum? That is in the bottom of our problem as well. We want to go to the museum 2 times, choose a highlighter, 2 times this month. And so here we're going to put 2. And so now that we have this important information, we are ready to calculate the cost of plan A. Yesterday, we talked about the associative property and multiplying multiple factors together. For plan A, the plan costs $7 per person. And we have 3 people going to the museum. And they pay that every time they go to the museum, and we want to go 2 times. So the equation that you see here, 7 times 3 times 2, is the equation that we're going to use in order to solve this problem. And so now let's use one of the strategies that we learned in order to solve this problem. I'm going to start by multiplying 7 times 3. And I am going to use one of the strategies that just makes sense to me. And I like to use the tape diagram. And so I am going to start with a 7. I'm going to put it in a box. And then I'm going to do another 7. And then I'm going to do another 7. Because remember, it's 7 times 3. And so I know 7 plus 7 gives me 14. Excuse my handwriting here, guys. Getting a little messy. And then I have another 7 to add. So 14 plus 7 gives me 21. And so 7 times 3 equals 21. So that's the first part of my problem. I know that 7 times 3 equals 21. Well, I'm not finished yet, guys, because now I need to multiply 21 times 2 to get my total cost. And this is actually a really big multiplication problem that may be a little difficult for us. And so what I'm going to do in order to multiply 21 times 2 is I'm actually going to skip count in order to get to 21 times. And so I am going to make it easy for myself. One thing that I like to do to make sure that I don't lose my space if I'm skip counting is I might make boxes. And so I'm actually, and you have probably seen a good old fashioned, we're gonna make we're gonna make kind of like a 10 frame, but we're gonna make a 20 frame. And so I'm gonna give myself 10 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I don't have enough space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15, 16. Let's see if I can get some more space on here. I'm going to try to do this again, y'all. Let's see, 17, 18. I'll just add some more down here. 19, 20, 21. So that's 21 boxes. And the reason I needed 21 boxes is because I'm about to count by twos and I don't want to get lost. And so I've got 21 boxes here and I'm going to count by twos. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42. So 21 times 2 equals 42. And that tells me that the cost of plan A is $42 for the whole family. So we have found the cost of plan A. I know my work is a little sloppy, but make sure that you get that in your notes. Teachers, if you need to pause the video, make sure you pause it and rewind it so that they can get all of that. All right, guys. Well, we found the cost of plan A. Let's now work on finding the cost of plan B. Let's check out our important information again. It says, what is the cost of our plan? Well, the cost of our plan for plan B, it says that a monthly membership costs $12. So $12 is the cost of plan B. And it is also for each person. That means everybody got to have their own membership. So number of people going is still our 3 people, me, my sister, and my brother. But this one says that you can go as many times as you want during the month. So that tells me that I am not going to have to worry about how many times we go because it says here that we can go as many times as we want and we pay the same price. As many times as you want and you pay the same price. So that means there's only 2 factors for me to consider in this problem. And the 2 factors that I'm considering in order to get the total cost of this one is 12 times 3. So we are going to come up with a strategy in order to figure out what 12 times 3 is. Now, one of the things that you may want to do is draw an array. Arrays are something that many of you are very comfortable with. You could also skip count by threes until you get up 12 times. That is also an option. You could pull out your multiplication table in order to find the answer. Because I am trying to model the different strategies that we talked about, I'm going to use an array this time. And so for my array, I am going to go use a different color. And so we're going to go down 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then we got 3 columns. So we're just going to repeat this. All right, guys. And so I made an array, and my array is a 12 by 3. And I want to know what 12 times 3 is. And so I could go old school, old fashioned, and I could count them all up. And that will give me my correct answer. And so if you want to take a moment to pause and count them up at this time, you can. I'm actually going to tell you to do that. So everyone count up that array and then write what 12 times 3 is on your Nearpod, please. All right, did you get that 12 times 3 is 36? You should have. And so plan B costs $36 for the whole family. Let's take a look at plan C, guys. This is about to be super easy. A family membership is $40 for a month, and everyone in your family can go as many times as they want. And so let's start with the cost of the plan. The cost of the plan, that's not a highlighter. The cost of a plan is $40. The number of people going to the museum, it doesn't matter, because what did the problem tell us? The problem says that everyone in your family can go. And so we don't even have to worry about this number right here. And it also says that not only can everyone go, but they can go as many times as they want. So we also don't have to worry about any math right here. For that $40, everybody can go as many times as they want. And because we only have one number that we're worrying about, the total cost for your family to go on Plan C is $40. No more math to do, guys. Told y'all that one was easy. So let's evaluate. Woo! I got a lot going on here, guys. So let's take a look at everything that we came up with today. I'm going to start with Plan A. So for Plan A, we found that we were going to multiply 7 times 3 times 2. 7 was the cost of a ticket for one person. 3 was the number of people going to the museum. And 2 was the number of times that we were going to go. We multiplied 3 times 7, and we got 21. And then we multiplied 21 times 2, even though we used skip counting, and we got 42. So we discovered that the total cost of Plan A was 42. For Plan B, remember, we did not need to include the number of times we were going, because with this plan, you can go as many times as you want it for the same price. So we multiplied $12, which is the cost of the membership for one person, and then we multiplied it by 3 because that was the total number of people who were going. And we made an array, but here I showed another strategy that's very similar to what we did on Monday with distributed property. I broke my arrays in 2. And so instead of going straight across 12 times 3 to multiply, I did a 6 times 3, which was 18. And then I did another 6 times 3, which was 18. And I added them together in order to get 36. And so the total cost of Plan B was $36. And then we had Plan C, which was super simple for us because it was a family membership and everybody could go as many times as they wanted to for the month. And so the total cost, regardless of who went and how many times you went, if they're a part of the family, the total cost was just that flat fee of $40. And so now what I want you to write in the Nearpod is which plan is the best deal and why. And here is your sentence frame right here at the bottom of the screen. Plan blank is the best deal because. Plan blank is the best deal because. Take a look at the information here and tell me which plan is the best deal. All right, well, let's talk about what you came up with. When we're talking about the best deal, we are looking for the cheapest. So, you know, when your mom goes to the store or a family member goes shopping, you're looking for the best deal. That means they want to spend the least amount of money. And so the best deal here is Plan B. Let's see if I can get black. Plan B. And Plan B is the best deal because it is the cheapest, or it costs the least amount of money for the entire family to go 2 times. Great job, guys. That was serious math. Well, check it out. Here is what you are going to do now. You are now on your own to do an independent task. And this independent task is going to be assigned to you through Google Classroom. And it is called Who is Right? And this is what the problem says. 3 classes were competing to earn the most Panda Pride points for the school's monthly raffle. The chart below shows how many tickets students in each class earned. We have Miss Bennett's class, where 6 students earned 8 tickets in 1 day. Miss Jordan's class, where 4 students earned 6 tickets each day for 2 days. And we have Miss Hook's class, where 2 students earned 4 tickets each day for 6 days. And then the question says, one student figured out that each class earned the same number of tickets, but Miss Moody thought that that couldn't be true. Who is right? Is it the student or is it Miss Moody? And so when you're answering this problem, these are the things I want you to think about. What is the problem asking me to find? What information in the problem is important? Did I use my important information to solve each option? And did I answer the question? If you do all of those things, I promise you that you are going to be able to come to the correct answer. Guys, I want to thank you so much for your hard work during today's lesson. Right now, you are going to go to your Google Classroom and work on this independent task. If you finish before class is over, you are going to log into Dreambox. Thank you guys so much for working so hard today. I will see you on Monday.